A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 307. In the previous episode, Han Li entered Devilfall Valley and discovered a mysterious, enormous pit filled with ash, likely formed by an ancient fire attribute treasure, testing the valley's strange rules. He found the sky was covered in a yellow haze and spatial restrictions made even flying dangerous. Carefully navigating with his Brightsight Spirit Eyes, Han Li avoided the deadly spatial tears scattered throughout the valley, while keeping his focus on acquiring the ancient flame toad's inner core and the Spirit Kindle Fruit. Meanwhile, other cultivators faced their own perils, trapped by rainbow light barriers and spatial restrictions, some even meeting sudden, fatal ends as they attempted to escape. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. Go! The loud man roared. The stone block revolved once in the air and struck the rainbow light barrier in a burst of light. The two swords transformed into streaks of light and followed after the stone block. The air was filled with the sound of cracking energy, and the force of the stone block was extraordinary. Even before it hit, faint sounds of an approaching storm seemed to echo around the area. When the stone block finally struck the rainbow light barrier, a booming explosion erupted, sending a pulse of colored light across the surrounding terrain. The ground shook beneath their feet as if the valley itself had been struck by a giant hammer. The two men observing the stone block could hardly contain their excitement. For a brief moment, hopeful smiles appeared on their faces, imagining that they had found an opening, a weakness in the defense. But their optimism was short-lived. The rainbow light suddenly grew brighter, twisting and intertwining with a strength far beyond their expectations. It suppressed all three magic treasures, forcing them backward as a clear, metallic ring rang out, echoing through the valley. The sudden reversal left the three cultivators wide-eyed and alarmed. Their initial confidence quickly turned into fear. The force restraining them was unlike anything they had imagined, far stronger than a simple barrier. The large man snorted in frustration, about to speak, but before he could, the rainbow light surrounding them suddenly shifted, glowing a deep, threatening red. In the blink of an eye, the previously defensive restriction began to condense clouds of flame, heating the area dramatically. The temperature rose sharply, making even the air thick and heavy. What is going on? Wasn't this restriction supposed to be non-offensive? He shouted, panic lacing his voice. The other two had no answer, only terror, as the fiery clouds began to press down upon them, filling the space with scorching heat. The hooded man tried desperately to protect himself. He summoned several magic treasures, forming layers of shimmering barriers, while slapping talismans across his body in a frantic attempt to resist the encroaching flame. But it was useless. The clouds engulfed the three cultivators entirely. Soon, their screams rang out, shrill and pained, only to be cut short. Silence fell quickly after, leaving nothing but smoldering rubble and three magic treasures, their radiance greatly dimmed, lying motionless among the wreckage. The valley had claimed many lives in the past. Over half of those who entered unprepared met a similar fate, unable to survive the sudden dangers hidden within. Even a nascent soul elder of a mid-grade sect had perished, falling victim to a spatial tear in a moment of carelessness. Each incident reinforced the deadly reputation of Devilfall Valley, instilling fear in anyone who dared enter. Han Li, fully aware of this, tread carefully, taking every precaution, yet fate had its own way of rewarding vigilance. As he navigated a desolate wasteland, Han Li was rewarded with a fortunate discovery. Hovering slightly above the ground, he glanced downward, his eyes flickering with a brilliant blue light. His spiritual sense detected nothing unusual, but his Brightsight Spirit Eyes revealed a faint meter-long arc of light. Barely noticeable, just 40 meters ahead, he realized that spatial tears, invisible to ordinary perception, could be detected with this ability. This was the result of years of careful preparation, the creation of Brightsight Spirit Water that had now proven invaluable. Han Li took a deep breath, the intensity of the blue light in his eyes dimming slightly as he focused. The realization that he could detect these dangerous spatial tears meant he could avoid one of the most common and lethal hazards in the valley. Yet, he remained cautious. Any slight lapse in concentration could mean disaster, as the Brightsight Spirit Eyes only worked at their fullest when he was fully attentive. Fortunately, the magic power consumption of this ability was minimal. Though Han Li worried about attracting attention, he did not wish Marquis Nanlong or others to notice the subtle glow in his eyes, as it might reveal too much about his capabilities. With this in mind, Han Li retrieved a cloak from his storage pouch. It sparkled faintly with azure light, a top-grade magical tool designed purely to conceal the wearer's appearance. With a single thought, he drew it over himself, ensuring that his face could not be seen, hiding his identity from anyone whose cultivation was not far above his own. Confident in this protection, he glided past the faint spatial tear, his azure-cloaked figure streaking forward through the air with careful precision. Meanwhile, in another part of the valley, a woman with ordinary features but exceptionally bright eyes was navigating a dense forest. Her movements were deliberate, almost cautious, as she scanned the terrain, seeking signs of something long hidden. After a time, she emerged at the edge of the forest, stopping abruptly. The signs left by a Ghost Spirit Sect elder, which she was tracking for the Spirit Kindle Fruit, were absent. Puzzled, she pondered whether the elder had different intentions for her, then decided to continue her search in the direction of 3 older cultivators who had appeared overhead. The 3 men moved slowly but deliberately, their forms streaking across the distance in 3 distinct streams of light. The silver-haired elder, sensing something below, glanced downward and noticed the woman hiding beneath a large tree. "It is nothing," he remarked to the others, downplaying the encounter. The purple-robed elder speculated about treasures, but the third, cloaked in azure energy, calmly dismissed the idea, reasoning that a single core formation cultivator would naturally avoid attention in such a dangerous place. Eventually, the 3 decided to continue their search for treasures elsewhere in the outer valley. The woman, identified as Violet Spirit, released a quiet sigh of relief. She recognized the silver-haired elder as Han Li's senior martial brother. Feeling fortunate that she had not been discovered, with her immediate path clear, she prepared to continue her search, intent on locating traces of the Spirit Kindle Fruit as agreed with Han Li. Before regrouping with him to search together, elsewhere, in yet another forest, 6 Ghost Sect disciples were scouring the area. Wang Chan and Yan Ruyan were among them, but the Ghost Spirit Sect Master Wang Tianggu and other high-level disciples were absent. Suddenly, a disciple's exclamation echoed through the trees, alerting the others to a discovery. "I have found it, it is here." The pale old man floating nearby, Elder Zhang, swiftly moved over, his expression serious as he examined a large, peculiar tree. Its roots split in 2, and thick branches stretched to either side, giving it the shape of a massive figure. Elder Zhang observed the tree carefully, noting a trace of black yin energy rising from its core. Confirming its significance, he signaled for the others to join him. The disciples were overjoyed at the confirmation, eager for the promised reward. Such moments of fortune were rare in Devilfall Valley, and they knew to cherish them. As the hours passed, cultivators became more dispersed, searching the valley's outer reaches in hope of treasure. Most came up empty-handed, concluding that the true treasures lay deep within the valley, in places far more dangerous. Impatient and confident, many began to push inward toward the valley's heart, driven by the promise of greater gains. Han Li, however, remained cautious. His first day had been relatively calm, and he avoided unnecessary risks. Aware that any location could be guarded by restrictions or traps, he refrained from reckless searching, prioritizing safety over speed. Moving steadily and deliberately, he followed the route he had planned with Marquis Nanlong. Although he flew at a slow speed, he gradually grew closer to the location he had agreed upon with Marquis Nanlong, and became aware of his location in the valley. In this episode, we saw Han Li carefully navigating the dangerous Devilfall Valley, avoiding deadly traps and spatial tears that could strike without warning. He discovered the power of his Brightsight Spirit Eyes, which allowed him to detect hidden dangers invisible to ordinary perception, giving him a crucial advantage in the valley. Meanwhile, other cultivators faced harsh consequences as restrictions and hidden traps claimed those who were reckless or careless. We also followed Violet Spirit as she cautiously searched for traces of the Spirit Kindle Fruit, and the Ghost Spirit Sect disciples who stumbled upon a significant discovery. highlighting the constant race for treasures and survival in this perilous place. Han Li's cautious strategy and keen senses ensured he stayed safe while gradually making his way closer to the meeting point he had arranged with Marquis Nanlong. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's journey to immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for the latest updates on Han Li's journey. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the upcoming videos.